Okay, this is a four-wheel drive Chinese tractor. Got to do the clutch. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with tractors. This will be the first one I've ever done. But I've spoken to a guy called David at Tanatrack, that's tanatrack.com.au, who sells these. He stocks all the parts you need for service and spares. If you want it, he'll get it. If you want advice, he'll give it. So I've been to see him. He assures me it's not that hard. He's given me a few pointers, so we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to walk you through it. Now, you can leave the bucket on. To do that, you have to lift it right up and prop it, because the engine comes forward and the arse end of this will stay where it is, where it can get a bit tricky, and I don't like the weight of being above me. So I have disconnected the front bucket. Pins are out. She's just sitting there on those props. Now, before you can take it off, you've got to disconnect the hydraulics. With these, you have to be very careful of not deadheading the pump. Now in here, this is the hydraulic pump. These are the lines. I'm going to disconnect the filter, drain all the fluid out, and then drop this off, because this is just a spline drive, so you can still run the motor without this being on, and that way I'm not going to deadhead the pump. I want to change the seal here and up here anyway, so that's got to come off. So that will drop, the fluid will come out, that's the filter. I'll change and clean all that. Those pipes will go back. Steering lines. Now this, you have to disconnect this and the one the other side, so you lose a bit of fluid from your steering pump, which is this one. You can block that off, or you can drain it. It's the same fluid as what's in the hydraulics, so it's no big deal. So I'll show you the other side. And you can see that where it's broken there. I've got to weld that up. And it's not had that hard a life, but the people I bought it off didn't do a proper check of it when it came out of the factory. This is the other steering line. You're going to have to disconnect here or here, it doesn't matter. When you come to disconnect the whole front, this will come off, but if you leave it on, the only thing you have to unbolt is the front mount, this side and the other side, because the motor will come forward, everything else stays. Looking underneath, now under here, this shaft, this is actually a sleeve, so you can unbolt it here and here and here. The sleeve will slide. There is a pin and a sleeve in here. Once you take the motor forward, you can pull that off, or you can knock the pin out where it is and slide it back and she'll come out. This is dry in there, you're not going to lose any fluid. It's no big deal. When you come to prop it, you're going to need axle stands under here, same the other side. You will need a trolley jack. So you're going to have to block it off here, timber, support it, and your trolley jack will go. She will roll forward with the wheels, no big deal. Now, if yours is like mine, it needs a hole in here with a split pin to let any moisture and crap fall out. This is why my clutch is gone so early. She's only done 200 hours, but the original clutch wasn't that good. So I'll be taking that off and fixing that up. The shaft will come out, as you can see. The hydraulics, they're already going to be disconnected. They'll stay with the arse end. So shaft, power steering, that's really it underneath. Now in here, again, like I say, this will stay bolted. Here's your bell housing. Bolts. You can get to those, you can get to them from underneath. I am going to be taking out all of this because I've got work to do behind there, which will give me more access anyway. No big deal again. Now, do not have anything on the arse end, because if you've got weight on the back, she's going to tip. So have nothing on the back. Think about it. Coming around here, to give yourself, nice and clean, to give yourself access, take off the manifold here or in here. That will give you access to these top bolts unless you've got a child with very good hands. Kids are always good. That really does it. So again, this will stay bolted on, this will stay on. This is the one you undo. Now, in here, this side and the other side, you're going to need to wedge it because the whole thing will move. So make sure that's wedged nice and tight, she can't move. Like I say, trolley jack here, on here, this will go forward. The bucket's going to stay where it is. I'm actually going to be working undercover in there. That sort of covers it for now. So, when I get to the clutch, hopefully, I will show you a few pointers with the clutch that I was told. Let's see how we go.